Alright, so where we last left off, I was a floater in high school, and I didn't really have much of a clique or a friendship based on like a whole group or anything like that. I only had one friend, and the reason why is because I wasn't in school a lot. Every time that I was in school, it was to study or do work, and then after school, I didn't hang out with anyone in school because I would also hang out with people outside of my school. The reason why I did that was because I wanted to explore my horizons. There were so many other schools in New York City. Why couldn't I just hang out with them? Also, I wanted to meet other ethnicities. Like, my school was black, Hispanic, and Indian, more or less. There were some Asians, but more or less those were the prime. Then I went to LaGuardia, and I met like more white people. I met other girls in this other school in the east side, and I met more Asian girls on the east side too. Basically, I wanted to just expand who I was, and I also wanted to find another girlfriend because the Rosemary and Lorraine thing kind of messed up my relationship with people in the school. People just saw me as like a very manipulative kind of guy, or like someone who was just outright dogging girls, as some would say. So it's whatever. It's totally normal, which is fine. I wasn't complaining either, but I became a floater, which in my terms means someone who is talking to everyone but not really, connecting with them in a closer level. So I was just always the guy that I can talk to anyone with, but I wasn't like super close to. And it was like January or sophomore year, January or February, and I remember people were talking about prom and how we needed to find dates or whatever. So I was like, shit, I gotta find a date too, because I don't want to go to prom alone. That would suck. So I didn't have a girlfriend. I was going solo. This Nessie thing was still going on at this time, and I had to find someone. So I spoke to my friend, who was like a girl, and I thought that she was really cute in the beginning of the high school, but then she started just becoming a bitch at the end. I asked her if I can become her date for prom, and she was like, yeah, sure, I'm cool with that. And I was like, alright, sweet. So I already have a prom date, check. So as I was coming up to prom, she called me back later and was like, oh, we can't. I don't even think she called me back. She was just basically telling me that she had a boyfriend now, and that was it. And I was supposed to get the hint because she stopped talking to me, and people were like, oh, Ari got fucked over because now this girl is going out with this guy, so now he's not going to go to prom with anyone. So that became like a super dramatic thing, and I was like, oh my god. If that's the case, I won't even go to prom, even though I really want to go to prom because it's prom. Hello, everyone goes to prom. So yeah, I had to figure out a way to bring a date, because I wanted to bring a date. I thought it would be pretty cool if I brought one. The other thing was I was just trying to figure out what I was going to do with terms of relationship wise. I wasn't finding anyone. There's one girl that I never mentioned in any of my videos, but I think it would be the best time to mention now. This girl, since freshman year, liked me. She wasn't attractive, but more and more she started getting attractive, and I was just her friend the entire time. So she wanted me to ask her to prom. I knew she wanted me to ask her to prom, but I didn't do that. And yeah, basically my options were slim because everyone was getting taken. So around April, I think around April or so, prom is coming up in the next month. I started to go to a philosophical class, and I met this girl there who was like really into 4chan, all this stuff. And at the time I was also into that kind of stuff, basically a B-tard. And yeah, we started just our relationship there. She went to another school from mine, and we just met up in this college class because we thought it would be a good idea to take these college classes. I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, so we started a relationship with that. Her name was Rebecca. And it was a big deal because I was telling her, like, listen, she was a year younger than me, so I told her, listen, I'm going to college next year. I don't know what's going to happen, but I hope that it'll be for the best of us later. Like, I hope everything just turns out for the best later. So she agreed, and we started going out, and it was awesome. It was really fun. She felt like I was the only person that she's gone out with that was as real as I was. The reason why is because I started becoming absolutely more blunt with her than I think with anyone. Every time that she would come from class, she would be bitching and complaining about like some girls in school or like someone she met who was pissing her off. And I told her, Rebecca, I don't care. I care because it's hurting you, but you shouldn't think about this kind of stuff. And I know, yeah, it goes through your life, so it's so ridiculous. But you're with me now, so don't talk about that. Don't bring this mood that I have of absolute awesomeness down to your crap, because I don't want to. So I would tell her that, and that really pushed her to, I think, liking me a lot, because I would always give her that face like, listen, just don't talk about that. You're with me. Let's just relax. Tomorrow's a new day. And that would be like so big for her. That was a huge thing, I think, for her. So one day I went to go see her, and I was like, oh my god, I saw this movie. It was amazing. It was called Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And I was like, man, this movie is amazing. We should watch it. I go watch it with her. It was basically amazing. And she was like, wow, I can't believe it. I was like, yeah, you're telling me. I almost started crying. I was like really, really sad about the movie ending and like all this stuff. And yeah, so we laid down and we were talking, and she was telling me like, yeah, I think I've fallen in love with you. And I was like, oh. At the same time that this was happening, Nessie was texting me. So I felt like I was in the same scenario that I was a year ago with Maureen and Rosemary, except this is a clearly obvious answer as to who I should go with. So I was talking to Nessie, and I told her, listen, I'm in a relationship right now. I think you need to stop. And she would call me. She was calling me at the time, so she would be like, oh my god, you're with that girl or whatever. She would call me and try to like basically try to fuck up whatever I was doing with Rebecca. And I told Rebecca, like, okay, I understand that you're in love with me, but I can't say the same thing because I've been through a lot, and I'm not used to saying that I love someone after like 2 months. So yeah, our relationship went a little bit south because of that, but she has to understand that I just couldn't. So later on, you know, our relationship got a little bit down because of the love thing, but I think she understood, and then it got back up because, man, she would wear the hottest thing sometimes to come see me because we didn't go to the same class. She would go to high school, actually, real high school, and then she would go to college, take a college class later, which would be in the same class as me, the philosophical class. Jesus, Tourette's. Anyways, so yeah, so because of that, I started to ask her if she wanted to go to prom with me, and she said, yeah, sure. And I was like, sweet, now I have a prom date. Prom starts coming up, and she started having a problem with her family. She's like, I can't go to prom, I can't buy a dress, I can't do anything. I got pissed. I got so pissed because she paid the money that she had to for prom, and she wasn't gonna go. And I felt like she wasn't doing anything for me. Like, I felt like I've done a lot for her, but at the same time, I have to understand that she was going through something pretty rough, probably because she had a lot of problems with her family as well. Which I was like, all right, whatever. But at the time, I wasn't. I was like super pissed about it, to the point where I broke up with her. I broke up with her twice. the first time I broke up with her, I gave her the reason that, like, I'm going to college, I'm not going to deal with this anymore. And then the second one was like, I'm going to college, I'm not going to deal with this anymore. And we should also be friends. And I think the second time she understood that our connection was just breaking off and that I wasn't going to fall in love with her or anything like that. So, or I wasn't going to fall in love with her anytime soon. So I think that like kind of pushed her off. I went to prom all alone, but I had a great time because the girl that like I mentioned that like really liked me, I danced with her at the end, and I think she got hot over it or something because she was like, man, I just don't want this night to end. She kept on telling me that. I don't want this night to end. I don't want this night to end. And I was like, listen, I can't take you back home because I'm not going home. I'm going to my friend's place. I'm sleeping over to his place, so it's not going to happen anytime soon. But she was like, you know, I just want to be with you. And I was like, oh my God, why did I dance with this girl? So after prom, things got super real in high school. Like, people were confessing their love to one another, how much they had crushes on one another. Even I had to tell the girl that like I was dancing with that. She basically went up. She was like, listen, I want to talk to you. We went up to the roof of the college, and we were there, and she was like, I was like, all right, what's up? She was like, listen, I want to tell you that I really like you and that I want to be in a relationship with you. And I told her, I'm going to a college that's very far away from here, that's basically in Canada, and I think that you have much more potential with other guys because I wouldn't give you the same sentimentality that I think another guy would. That's literally what I told her, and she understood. She understood. Currently, to this day, she's engaged. She found someone that she fell in love with, and she is engaged right now. She's not pregnant or anything. She's doing absolutely amazing at just the life right now. She's doing great. So, you know, all the best for her, really. So yeah, so let me think. So yeah, the Ruby thing, or the girl who liked me a lot, she, and I guess for anyone who's trying to maintain a relationship from high school to university, the best advice I would say is to try to communicate with one another every week. The best way to do it probably would be Skype. Try to do webcam and try to talk to one another maybe like every once a week or so, or every 2 times a week. I know some people talk to their boyfriends or girlfriends every other day. So just try to keep it going, because going to university opens a huge opportunity to go for any girl. I know as soon as I got to university, I got into another relationship. And although that wasn't like a big deal in terms of relationship wise in my life, it was still a relationship nonetheless. And yeah, freshman year is even bigger in terms of relationships because all the girls aren't in sororities, they aren't in clubs, they aren't doing anything. They're just flagging out their big badges and they're ready for anyone to go in. So all I'm going to say is just decide if this is what you want to do, if you want to maintain the relationship that you've been with, or who you've been with for so long, or you just want to move on, if you want to find a new person in university. Obviously there's going to be like more opportunities there, and you're going to be there for a longer period of time in terms of your life for the next 4 or 5 years. So just do what you got to do. I personally decided to move on. I decided to go to a new leaf with this thing because I specifically chose this university not just because of my major, but because I wanted to start over, learn new things, and experience all that I could, so that when I come back, I became more of a aware and just a better person in general. I felt like high school just clouds your mind so much, and if you don't open up your horizons, you don't know what else is there left in the world. You'll miss your opportunity. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and as always, thank you for the support. I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.